everybody, and welcome to Rosemary Cooking at Home. Now, this is very exciting. I'm doing a fabulous dish today. So I'm teaching you how to make a proper risotto. Now, there's so many different ways, but for me, it's all about keeping the heat as low as possible, so you get as much starch out of it. But before we start, I want to tell you, I've just been given, it's my birthday next week, and I've just been sent a load of chocolate, just one little bit, from this lovely chap called Ben and Ashley, who have a lovely chocolate place in Calden, in North Yorkshire. And I was going to actually, what was so sad, I was going to cook with Ben at the Great Yorkshire Show last year when it was going to happen. It was all cancelled. But it was so sweet. He sent me this, and it's just adorable. So I'm going to keep that. And he made me that. Oh, just so lovely. I think this is all very special. So Ashley McCarthy and Ben, thank you so much for all the chocolate. Florentines, chocolates, they sent me everything. And Calton in Yorkshire. So anyway, so enough of that. But I needed to say something because I just opened it about an hour ago. And I got a shock of my life. It's a birthday present for me. Very kind. Anyway. First of all, so the first thing you've got, let's just check we got all the ingredients. Now, I am doubling the recipe because, you know, I've got Martin to feed and things like that. So basically, I'm doubling the recipe, so it's more than I would have given you. But we start off with leek, shallot or onion, anything like that. I've got two actually. It doesn't matter how much you put in really, because you know if you want to make it more leaky, make it more leaky. I've got the rice. I've got ordinary arborio. You can do Carnaroli rice. Now, if there are any questions, please send them, and send them through on the internet. Then we will try to answer them. I've got people ready to say what they are. And I will try and finish a sentence, because I don't know if you realize, my brain is actually working 100 miles an hour, and the problem is I never finish a sentence. So you think, if you can follow me, you're a better person than I am. Now, I've also got my delicious, gorgeous, natural smoked haddock. I prefer using this because I don't like the dye in the dark yellow one, so I like to use that. So obviously I've got a lot more. I only asked for 200 from you, but I've got a lot more than that. But don't worry, it makes no difference. And on top, we're going to use the delicious sea bass. Now, you don't have to. What you don't have to do is actually use the sea bass if you don't want to. You don't use any fish. Just have risotto on its own. You don't need to. And the thing about risotto is you can actually do so many things with it. So you can have a wild mushroom risotto, whatever's in season, crab risotto, lobster risotto, anything, whatever is in season. So you basically need a base risotto to be able to add all the other ingredients when you're ready. Now, so the first thing we're going to do is chop up our leek. Now, last week, if you remember correctly, did I show you how to cut a leek last week? I'm not sure. I think I did. So we're going to start off with this. So what we do is we cut the leek in half like that, and we're going to go like this along the leek. Actually, I don't think I did. Along the leek like that. Very simple. Okay, so then we're going to do that. So what happens, there we go, and we can dice it very quickly. Now with this, the inside bit, we're going to do as well. So we'll cut this up.
Rosemary?
Yes?
Somebody on the chat has asked, what is the biggest mistake people make when cooking risotto?
They either overcook it, or they either do it too fast, overcook it, or they basically don't put enough flavour in, or you've got to keep stirring because you need to get that starch up. If it just sits, what happens is it won't bring the starch out. It will start to seal the rice. And I'll tell you about that in a minute, not now. But overcooking is one of the worst things you can do. Now, there we are, fine dice. That's how you do it. Very simple. That's how because you always wonder, well, how am I going to dice that rather than cut it into rounds? You don't need to, just cut it down. There we are. And also, I'm not worried about sort of how wonderful it looks, because again, You know, we're at home. It's not like, now, for those who've just joined us, I must tell you, people know I always wear my whites when I'm teaching. Can I tell you why? Because first of all, I feel so comfortable in my whites. And secondly, it's because it's makes me feel I'm cooking properly with you guys. Right, so, I'm going to pop that in. Now, we're going to put the leek in to cook off the leek. So that's how you chop a leek. Okay, we'll chop another leek in a minute. So I'm going to do some crispy leek later on, but not now. Right, so what I'm going to do is the shallots, cut the shallots in lengthways. Now I'm going to peel them. It's very simple. All you do is take off the peel like that, and then you take off like that. Now, and you do that the same with onion, okay, so you never worry about it, you just take it off. It comes off so much easier. Right, we're now going to take off, when I'm doing shallots, I tend to use a smaller knife, okay, because it's sort of so much easier to control. It's very much easier. So this is all on now. So what we're going to do, just going to clear this off so you can see this.
So Rosemary, Helen,
Yes.
she was just asking, can she use celery as well for texture? Would celery work in
Yes, celery would be fine, but I think what I'm after here, I'm after a good base. So you can use celery, absolutely right, but do chop it, sort of don't slice it, chop it finely. But yes, you can. Now, what I've done is I've cut it down. Now, if you can see, I've kept the root on. By keeping the root on, and I'm just cutting like that, and I'm going to leave it there because, you know, the whole thing is, as you all, as you all know, what I tend to do, there we are, just squeeze that. What I tend to do, I want to soften these without making them brown. I do not want to make them brown. I always tend to do one stage at a time. Do you remember? Not too tiny. I'm not doing them too tiny. Okay, one step at a time. Go. That's it. Now, once you've done these, I'll take that bit off. That's not very nice.
Rosie, for those that don't like fish, somebody else has asked, can you make a chicken risotto?
Yes, you can.
Or do you need something more flavoured?
No.
Venison?
No. You can use anything you like. The thing about doing a risotto, you can actually put any flavour into it. So if you happen to have chicken, use chicken. But very important, you have to sear the chicken off first, and then, you know, put some chilli with it maybe, or do whatever you like. So now, once I've done those four, okay, no more questions for 1 minute while I just get into this. So, 1. Okay. Perfect. 2. See how much better it is when you do it all in one go. Whoopsie. And 4. There. Now, with that, wouldn't necessarily, I would put it into a stock. I haven't got a stock on, but, you know, don't throw those sort of things if you've got something on the go, please. Right, I'm going to put the shallot in. So we're going to soften the shallot up. Right, turn this up a little bit now. That's it. Clear up. Always clear up as you go along. Now, what I'm going to do, while this is just softening off, I'm just going to prepare the leeks for later while I've still got no fish on here. So, this is what you do. It's easier, actually, if you cut the leek in half. Please tell me if I'm going too fast.
For those joining, would you just explain what you're doing with that leek, because that's a little extra.
Yes. Now this leek, for those who've just joined, I've done the leek for the actual risotto. But now I've given you a little bit of extra. You don't know about this because I didn't put it in the ingredients. But if you've got a spare leek and you want to do it, you can do it. But otherwise, it's just for me to give you a little bit of elevation. So basically, bring it up, to elevate it up to slightly more restauranty, I suppose. So it gives a little extra. But otherwise, it's not for anybody. It's not for you if you don't want to do it. Slow down. Okay, right. So the first thing I'm going to do is, there's my leek, same way. Okay. I'll just stop for a minute, do this. Sophie, don't worry, we'll wait. Just give thumbs up when you're ready. But don't forget, I'm not expecting you to do this. So I might just do this and then stop, okay? I normally do this on a very thin mandolin. It's all good. So just keep going with that. There we are, and that. I'm going to do this, same thing. There we go. Right. Oh, hi Carol, how are you? Now Carol, you sent me a message. I'm so sorry I haven't got back to you, but it's been so busy. I'm really, really sorry. Carol Jackson is a fabulous chef, and she worked with me at Moynes. It was wonderful. Are you still working? Are you still working? There we are. Just keep going. Right. Don't need any more than that. There we are. So, have that. Oh, do you know what? There's no point in wasting this. Let's just do this. I'm not going to throw that away. You must be joking. There we are. Right. So we're done. So it just shows you what we're doing. Now I'm going to put this to one side. In fact, I'm going to pop that in with the flour. I'm putting a little bit of flour. There we go. Don't forget about that for the moment. Now, right, now I've got a board I can use. So we've got our lovely shallots, our leeks that are in there. So this is what I would call my base for the risotto. Okay, so now for 2 people it's half that amount. Obviously for 4 we've got this amount. So what I'm going to do, while that's just softening off, I just want to explain something. The thing about it, if you imagine just one kernel of rice, if you imagine it, the rice itself is made of all different layers. Now what happens is, if it's on too high a heat, certainly to begin with, it seizes and it actually stops the starch from coming out. So basically, if it's on a lower heat, when it starts off, it's much better. So that's why it's important to keep it on a lower heat. Now, what I'm going to do also, rather than have boiling stock, I'm going to actually cool it down each time I actually use the stock, because I think, so I'm using cold stock, because I think that gives it a slightly better edge as well. But that's just my opinion. That's, this is all my opinion. So we'll have this up.
There's just a comment saying, turned on rotary flour, so perhaps you might have mixed what you were using the flour.
Okay, the flour is for later, for that flour.
It's just for you though, wasn't it?
The flour is just for me. Now what I'm going to do is, as I do the fish, I'm going to put just the skin side in a little bit of flour, but that's for later on. But the flour for the...
I think people are getting confused, Rosemary.
Yes. Okay. People are getting confused. Very sorry. I've given you an extra little thing tonight, which is julienne of leeks, which is sliced leeks. And I'm putting them in a little dusting with a little bit of flour. This is not for you. This is for me. And I'm then deep frying them, just to give it a crispy. Now, for the actual seared sea bass, that's different. Now, I was going to cook these just without flour on the top, but I've decided to put a little flour, just flour, on the skin only. But that's for later. What I'm doing is I'm just concentrating on making the base risotto. So what we've done is, we've got the leek, we've got the shallot, we've cooked that off till it's softened, and this is my risotto base. Now, we've also got the rice. So I'm going to just pour that in for a minute. So I pour the rice in. Now I'm going to just mix it like that. I'm not going to use wine in here. Don't think it's necessary. But what I'm going to do is just bring it up and make it a little bit opaque. So with the heat, there we are, just cook it off a little bit. Just a tiny bit. There we go. Now, right, I'm now going to add a little bit of fish stock, cold fish stock. So I'm going to put a little bit in. Now, the most important thing is, while this is cooking, I need to just explain it to you. As I just said, there we go. As I've just said, the kernel, okay, if you take each individual one, it's just, it's sort of lots of layers, lots of things going on. And if you understand, if you put rice into cold water, what happens? The cold water will turn cloudy and white. That is because the starch is coming out. Now, the reason we want that starch is because we want it creamy, because we don't want to put any cream. I'm going to put a tiny bit at the end, just that, which is literally a low-calorie cream. But other than that, just a tiny bit, 2 tablespoons. But other than that, you don't have to do that. The actual creaminess will come from the rice itself. So this is the important part to remember. Now, so we're going to turn it up a little bit, just to get it going. So, now, what I don't want you to do, what has to happen is, each time I add my liquid, it's got to stop it up. It's got to absorb the whole thing. Because if it doesn't, they become wishy and washy, and then you'll end up with a horrible risotto. So the most important thing is you let each stage, as you put the liquid in, to absorb it. So it's almost dry, not quite dry. So we're going to bring this up so you can see what's happening here. It's got some way to go.
Someone's asking, Katie, what type of knife were you using?
Yes, I was using my cleaver, which I love, this is a cleaver from China. I love it. I've got a bigger one, a huge one. I love it. I use it for everything. And I've also, for the actual shallot, I used that one, which is a little one, which is much easier to use. And for my fish, I'm using a filleting one, and also my cleaver as well. Knives are really important. Knives are the tricks of the trade, in the sense that we need our knives to make a good job of things. But, you know, you have a job, you have a knife for everything. One day I'll show you the different knives that are actually used for different things, which is really important.
Does it matter if someone's stock is warm?
No, not at all. No, not at all. No, not at all. If it's warm, go for it. Fine. Makes no difference. I'm just making it sure that I might get a wooden spoon to sort of help that noise. It's driving me bananas. Oh, look, I love my whittle. My whittle is my porridge whittle. I love it. Right. So, make less noise. That's better. Oh, thank goodness me. Thank goodness for that. I can't stand it. It's like getting, when you sort of stop hearing noise, it's sort of like getting over an illness. Suddenly feel better. Anyway, now you can see it getting drier here. You should be able to see it getting drier and drier. It's not quite ready yet because it's a little bit there, but you must be patient. It's to make the best risotto, patience is everything. There we go. Oh, delicious. Now, let's just bring this. There we go. Right. Lovely. I'm going to now pour a little bit more in. Right. Now, what I'm going to do is put some spinach through the risotto. So, because normally I would just throw it in, but actually I'm not going to, because there's quite a lot here. So I think it would spoil that. So I'm going to now, what I've done is, I've put a bit of water, a little bit of water there, and some butter into this pan, and I'm literally going to wilt it, and that's all, nothing else. So I just get rid of the, there we are, just put this on, and, oh, is it on? Yes, it's on. There we are. Just keep going. Keep stirring. Keep stirring. There we go. All these pans. All these pans. There we go. Turn that down. Right. Must keep stirring because, you know, if you don't stir, it doesn't help the starch coming out. So just keep stirring. My sink is doing really weird things this afternoon. Right. There we are. Keep doing this. Perfect. Now this, and you know, you can put some herbs and some parsley in there. You can put anything in there. You can just, you know, but it's just getting it at the right thing. Okay. Okay. Now, has anybody been watching the Netflix Best Leftovers Ever? And what do you think of it? I hope you're enjoying it. I really do. It was trending in America for quite a while. And I'm hoping that over here, it's going to do well over here. It's really sort of very American, camp slightly, but fun, great fun. And also, some of the dishes they produce are transforming. They're incredible. I can't believe it. They're such great cooks. I'm just going to put this spinach and let it wilt in the water and the bit of butter. There we go. How good is that? And we'll just let, oh, here we are. Keep going. And you know what? I have to tell you, I think it was the actual risotto is all about patience. It's all about patience, having the patience, and just you just turn it down a bit. Now. Yes, you have to wait till all the stock has absorbed and then you can add more, okay? Let me just turn this spinach. We won't, you know, this will be done in plenty of time in the hour. Oh, good. Oh, that's so nice. That's so nice. There we go. There we are. Right. This is coming beautifully. There we go. I love this. That's nearly done now. Just make sure that it's really well wilted. There we go. There's a lot of spinach in there. Now, keep going. Keep going. Now, can you see how mine is completely absorbed again? So I'm going to now put a bit more in. Okay. There we go. Just keep going slowly, slowly does it. It's quite a nice one, this one, because it's just everything's done really slowly. Now I'm going to turn it down. There we go. Now you can see, can you see how the starch is happening? Can you see how thick it's becoming? Look. There we are. Look at that. It's thick. That is the creaminess. Oopsie, I better turn this off. Hang on. That's the creaminess. Let me just... That was fiercely. There we are. And I'm just going to show you here. So basically, this is the wilted spinach that I've done. And I'm literally going to take this and I'm going to put it onto some kitchen roll over there. I'll bring it over here actually. Look, here we go. There we are. It just drains it. You need to drain it really well. And then it's done. Now you don't have to put spinach in if you don't want spinach, but you know, it's quite sort of, what spinach does, first of all, I love spinach, and this is the new fresh spinach, which is adorable, which is so good. So delicious. There we go. I'll put that there actually. That's supping it up beautifully. Right. Now, oh, here we go. Keep doing it. Keep doing it. Now, while this is doing, I'm now going to be talking about the fish. Right, the first thing I've got to do is prepare my haddock. Now, I did only ask you, those who are only doing 200 grams, you're not going to have an awful lot, but actually you can still do it in terms of me doing it this way, because that's why. Now, how to skin fish. The most important thing Are you all ready for this, actually? Will you check? Are you all ready for this? Because I really want you to learn. Can you do thumbs up for me? Will you? Okay. I will. All right. I'm being very good this week, aren't I? I'm trying to, first of all, finish my sentences. Oh, haven't I finished? They're laughing because I haven't finished my sentences, have I? I don't know what the matter is with me. This is what I do. It's like, oh dear, people have finished sentences for me. I don't know. That's going to be delicious. Oh, it's going to be so good. The flavour is already in there. I love it. I love it. Now, am I allowed to go yet? Are we allowed to go yet? Go on. Okay. Right. How to fillet fish. Oh, good. Okay. Right. Well, there's no point. They can watch. What you do is you hold this with your left hand, or if you're right-handed. I mean left-handed. It's the other side. And then what you do, really hold on to it. Really hold on to it. And you go like this. Okay. Can you see? So I don't want to leave any skin behind. Okay, I don't want to leave any flesh behind either. Now let's see how good I've been. Ha 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 ha! Look! That's good. That is good. So I'm going to put that to one side because obviously I'm going to put that in a separate bag because it'll smell my thing out. Right, I'm going to do the other one. You know how I love to do things together in stages. There we are. So it's flat. It's flat, but I'm slightly tilting the knife up slightly because if it was totally flat, I would go and cut that skin. But if you slightly put it like that, you can do it. All right. So it's basically, it's just having, you're slightly going up, but flat. I hope that makes sense. There we are again. Clean as a whistle. Now, I've been doing it for a long time. Okay, quickly, keep going with this. Keep going. Oh yes, always. But did I make this? No. No, I didn't, unfortunately, because I didn't have any in. Now, can you see everybody? This is dry, look. This is dry. Can you see that? It's a little bit. So what I'm going to do is put a little bit more in now. Okay, that's it. Bring it in. I'm doing exactly the right thing. I cooled it down now slightly. Right, just bring it up. Oh, it's wonderful. Cooling it down brings that starch out. It's really good. Right, now what I'm going to do is just cut this into cubes, into dice. Okay, so because what I'm going to do, it's there for flavour. Now, obviously, if you wanted it just full of haddock, you just buy more haddock, okay? But this is going with the fish, okay? It's going with the sea bass. So I thought you can't have too much, but you can make it just a haddock risotto. So that's delicious. Now, there we go. Thing is, if you get a risotto just right, what you can do is, here we are. Perfect. What you can do is you can leave it and heat it up later. That's when it's still al dente.
Rosemary, should anyone be adding any salt or seasoning?
No seasoning and no salt. Do not add anything at this stage. No seasoning. You never do that until the end. Never, ever, ever. The reason for that is because let the flavours develop and then you'll know how much salt to put in at the end. You never, ever do it before. At least I would never do it before. There we go. So, in we go. There we go. Right, now, mix, 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 keep mixing, keep mixing. Hope you're enjoying this. It's beginning to look wonderful. Now, this is the sea bass. Now you can do sea bream, you can use anything you want, anything. So what I'm going to do is no, I was going to skin that. I'm not going to skin it actually because I think it'll give it texture. I'm just going to remove that fatty part. So I'm going to make sure that everything is Okay, and clean, make sure everything's clean. Right, I'm now going to put that inside, and I'm going to cut it into pieces. I'm not going to leave it whole, like that. Okay, put that on the inside. So I've got 3 lovely pieces there. Okay, right, I'm now going to take the other one. Again, I'm going to just neaten it up. I'm not wasting these. I should put these in a bit later. I'm now going to take that fatty part off. So you just take it off there. Oh, just done. Right. Fine. So put that in there. That in there. Do another one. I've got 4 here to do, so thought I would just show you again. Again. So neaten it up. That's it. So I will show you how to fillet some fish, actually. Not today. I was going to, but these very nicely came like this. So I thought, well, why not? Why not? It's good. So take this off. There we are. Perfect. Perfect. Neaten it off. Don't waste those little bits, honestly. Now, to do this. To do these little bits, I'm going to put them in a little bit of flour to cook, and then I'm going to put them on a tray just ready to pop it in the oven just to heat up. But the most important thing is that I need to just pop them in, so to cook the crispy, make the skin crispy, because they really won't take long. They'll take literally minutes. But if I prepare it now, okay, if I prepare rapeseed oil, if I prepare it now, this means that it'll be just a matter of putting it in the oven just to heat through, and that's all that needs to be done. Okay, we're just going to turn this on. So cool, so good. So there we are. Now keep going. Make sure this risotto is beginning to take shape now. Now I hope yours is. It's not ready yet, but it's beginning to take shape. Okay, right. Okay. Now, what I'd like you to do, please, is to post your pictures when you've done, please, because I really want you to share also, to tell people what you've done and how much you've done and what it looks like. You know, remember, it's at home. I'm not asking for restaurant stuff, but it'd be lovely just to see that it looks a gorgeous bit of risotto. I love that.
Curtis is just asking, any flour, just plain flour?
Right, any flour, Curtis. Right, I would say just do ordinary plain flour. Any flour will do. Any flour will do, literally any flour. So no problemos. No problemos. Right. I'm just checking this so it's nice and low, which is what I'm wanting. Just good. There we are, just put it on. Right, okay. Now, this is important. So what I'm going to do now, that haddock goes in later. I'm now going to take, first of all, I want to season this, okay? Better to season it before you cook it. Now, I'm going to put just skin side down, like that. And I'm going to, that's it. So it's dusted, a little bit of dusting, that's all it is. Not on the flesh side, only on the other side. Now, we're just going to, there we are. It'll help with the look of it. Now, what I'd like to show you is, I just do 4, and then we'll repeat. This is actually really quite important. So, you now take this. Now, as soon as that happens, the actual fish curls up. Now, what I have to do is push it down. Push. Can they see this? It's really, really important to push. Now, the skin will shrink. It always does shrink, so it never looks wonderful. But if you do this, okay, and you only need to do one side, you don't need to cook the other side, because there's you can turn it over and then put it on a tray. So let's take the tray, I'm going to pop it on. Oh, quick, quick, quick. Quick, quick, quick. Right, turn it down. Okay, can you see that? It's coming. Right, this is nearly done now, believe it or not. I'm just going to add a little bit more of this. A little bit more. Bring the temperature down a bit. Right, okay. There we are. Now, let's have a look at this. So, this is done. Ooh, see. That was quite higher heat. I didn't realise it was quite so high. Turn it over. Turn it over. Right, that's it. Don't cook the other side. So what I'm going to do is just pop this onto here, ready to put into the oven. Just heat through. Now I'm just going to do the next one. Where are we? That's it. Next one. So we'll keep going. So in we go. Do you see how nice, how crispy it is? Which is what I'm looking for. I'm looking for that skin colour of golden brown, which will create a nice picture on the risotto. There we go. Perfect. Then, perfect. And we just, okay, nice photograph. 180.
What was this?
180 Celsius. Right, I've now just put it all in. Okay, I've now put it repeat. Okay, oh, the oven. Do you know what? They have just told me to repeat the question because they don't know. So, of course, I always forget to repeat the question. So, the oven should be on, quite right too. Otherwise, how are you going to ever know? The oven should be on 180 just to heat through the fish. Literally, just to heat it through. Now, I'm just finishing the next ones, and then we're done. Right, okay, so the first thing, so that's pretty straightforward. So if you've got somebody coming over, well, obviously not at the moment, but when you have, you can get this ready in advance and just put it in the oven. How good is that? Because it's not cooked properly. Right, now I'm just going to taste it for doneness. It's not far off, really. Okay, oh my gosh, it's so good. Oh, now. I'm now going to put in some seasoning. There we are. So I'm also going to put in a little bit of this creme fraiche, low calorie creme fraiche. Not much. You don't have to use that. Didn't see that, did you? Right. That's all right. Yes, that's fine. Absolutely fine. Well, if he wants to put a bit more, just add a little bit more milk. Okay. Oh, so if somebody uses their stock up, add a bit more milk. It's fine. It's not a problem. Just, you know, these things happen. You can't always judge them. So too much stock. If you used all your stock and it does need a little bit more, don't worry about it. Right, now, that's made it a bit whiter, which I'm quite pleased about. I'm actually going to turn it off, just for a minute, just to recap. Right, I'm now going to take this. We're going to turn these over, as per I said. Oh, no, sorry, not quite brown enough. I'm going too soon. So just make sure they're well goldened. Nearly done, nearly done. You've got to be sure. Keep stirring your risotto. It should be really good. Have you seen how my risotto hasn't bubbled at all? Well, it's bubbled, it's simmered on a low heat, but I've kept going, so it hasn't had a chance to make it liquidy at any kind, because the starch, I'm bringing the starch out every time I'm stirring. Every time. I would add it at the end when I'm using my smoked haddock, but the chicken has to be cooked. Is that okay? So if you are going to use chicken, I would use a good chicken stock But the chicken has to be cooked. Is that okay? There we are. Thank you. So we're just doing this. Perfect. Now, I'm just turning it over. I'm not going to cook it in any shape or form. That's it, just turned it over to cover a bit of oil on it. Yeah, put that there. Now, that's perfect. Bit of fish, and it's come off, but not to worry. There we go. Oopsie. So that really didn't take long, did it? Right, now, that's what's so nice about all this sort of stuff, is it's all very simple and very easy. Now, can you see that? That's ready to go in the oven. So I'll put that in a second. Right, now, I'm going against all the grain. The reason why is because I'm going to put a bit of Parmesan in. Now, I know that people say, oh, you shouldn't have Parmesan with fish. Actually, I think a little bit of Parmesan with this smoked haddock goes really, really well. So I'm going to put some Parmesan in there. There we go. It's like the sink is going. Right, I'm now going to put in my my smoked haddock in there. So what's going to happen is that's going to start cooking. Oh, delicious. It's actually making my mouth water. Right, I'm going to now, okay, what's going to happen is, I know I've turned it off. Can you see that? I know I've turned it off, but as soon as I turn it on again, I will heat it up and I will put in the spinach and your haddock will be cooked. It's already beginning to cook because the heat residue is already there, obviously. So now, I think, because I don't want to spoil this, this is so good, I'm going to show you. I think we're going to be done earlier tonight. Is everybody with us? Is everybody with us? Yes? I'm going to sit down for a minute because I can't really do anything for a minute. Right. I'm going to remove this because this is very fishy. So I'm going to take this. There we are. Perfect. Right now, I should put that there. I should take that off there. So clear up. There's plenty of time to do some clearing up because we're going to put some lemon in there. And I wouldn't mind putting a bit of lemon zest too.
Are you keeping it on a low heat?
Yeah, no, the risotto is off for the moment. Just off. Right. So I want to chat with you. I want to chat. Now, okay.
So if you're on a budget, Rosemary, how do you make this recipe work?
Right, if you're on a budget, that's a really good question. If you are on a budget, first of all, I think chicken is really cheap because it goes a long way. You can use thighs, which is really, really good. You can use sausage, which is brilliant. You can use just vegetables. You can use butternut squash. You can use anything. The thing about this is, with a risotto, when things are actually in season, it's really nice because you can then put anything into it, and that's what's good. It's a very economical meal, really. Okay, I know, but I only asked you to put 200 grams of fish for 2 people. Now, that's not a lot, but that will give you the flavour without going overboard. So I think it's enough, because if you've got the other fish as well, especially, I think it's more than enough. I also think you can do it with mushrooms, the lovely wild mushrooms when they're in season. You can do it with anything. I mean, you can literally make this such a cheap dish. That's why I love it so much. It's because the family love it. It's not fattening because you don't have to use double cream and all this stuff. It's in the rice. So it's really, really quite healthy for you. And if you haven't got Parmesan, use cheddar. Honestly, a little bit of cheddar doesn't do any harm. So I think you can adapt to anything when you're doing anything like this, because to me, that's what food is all about, adaptation. Adaptation is everything, because if you haven't got it, well then adapt. Just make it your own dish. And sometimes you can actually make a better dish than the dish you're actually doing, because, you know, sometimes it can be not what, you know, it could be a better flavour you prefer, or anything. You know, so it's worth experimenting. What I wanted to show you was, I wanted to just show you how to get a really good risotto, and that is all in the cooking. It's all in the stirring. It's all in getting it done so you can absorb the thing, but absorb the rice, but the liquid into the rice. But what I understand, do you see me? I tried to finish the sentence then. Yeah. Anyway, so then, yeah, but then I stopped, didn't I, by saying I tried. I can't believe I just did that. That is so balmy. I mean, that's it. You know, by trying to do something, I actually didn't do it because I stopped doing it because I was so excited about doing it. Right, okay. That makes any sense. Right, so... Pardon? Yeah, I can recap. Now, so what has happened is I have, first of all, cut up the shallot or onion, whatever you've got, leeks, cut them up. I've also softened them off in some butter and a little oil, no, just butter actually. Then I put, but you can use oil if you want to use oil. Then I put the rice in and I cooked the rice till it was a little bit opaque first before I added the liquid. Then I added the cold liquid so it really absorbed into the rice. And I know people say add hot liquid or whatever, but actually the reason I'm doing it is because it cools it down and allows the starch to come out. So it's all to do with all to get the starch out to make it creamy. And that's what the Italians do. That's what the Italians do. They can cook risotto for 2 hours on a really, really low heat. And they get it to just al dente. And then what you do is, when you're ready to serve it, you just bring it up, boil it up and add your flavour. Bob's your uncle. You're in there. So that's the thing about doing a risotto. You can get it done. If you do it properly, get it done in advance, al dente, and then serve it when the time's come. So that's not a last minute thing. But you must always understand that if you're going to let rice actually sit there, it will absorb the liquid, so you will definitely have to add more liquid. Anything like pasta, rice, anything like that will take the liquid up and will create more liquid, and that's really, really important to remember. So, you know, that's how you do it. So, how's everybody doing? Will you just let me know, please? I seem to be very organised tonight. I hope you're impressed, because I am. Right. It's stupid, isn't it? I'm impressing myself. Now, okay, so what I'm doing is here, I'm actually got some flour. Are you all ready for this?
So this is the extra bit.
This is the extra. Yeah, no. I need to get some elephant loo roll out actually, because if I don't get this out, it's going to be no good. I need to get this. I call it elephant loo roll. It's good. Right, so what I'm going to do is that. Now, you've got this and it's in a little bit of flour. You just take the flour off. So what I've got here is, can they see this oil? Okay, no, I'm going to put it here. Can they see it now? Can they see it? Okay, they can see it. Okay, right, okay. Right, can they see it here?
Yes, they can.
Okay, right, turn it down. Thing is, you must not have your oil too high. Now, the most important thing, oil should be at about 170 when you're doing this Celsius, because if you have it too high, what will happen is it'll burn it too much. Now, I have got a thermometer, but you don't really need one for this, but I have got it just to let me know how. Okay, perfect. It's 146, a little bit more, 154, that'd be perfect. Right, now what I'm going to do is, turn it down. Now I'm going to put this in. Sorry? Yeah, so what I did is I cut some julienne or fine slices of leek. That's all I did. So I'm going to now pop this into there with some dusted it with flour. Now, there we go. I've dusted the flour. Now you have to wait till it goes a bit brown. Stir again. This is nice. I like doing this. This is fun.
What oil is that?
Right, I've used some sunflower oil here because I think that's the best thing when you're doing anything like this. Just ordinary sunflower, corn oil, or whatever you want. There we go. It's not far off. Needs not to do it too brown, too dark, and just keep it as light as possible.
So when would you be putting in the sea bass into the oven?
In about after this is done. How am I doing for time? Oh yes, sorry. Repeat the question. There I go again. I'm going to be putting the sea bass in after I've done the crispy leeks. Okay. Now, how much am I doing for time? How are we doing for time? Okay, let's go for it. Okay, so what I'm going to do. Okay, I'm going to turn this on a low heat. Right, I'm now going to turn this over. Turn this up. Just going to turn it up a tiny bit because it's a little bit, that's it. Floury, the water's gone a bit floury, but don't worry. I mean, the oil's gone a bit floury, but that's okay, it's not a problem. So we're going to now take this, put that on there. There we are. I'm now going to take that again, and I'm going to take the rest of this. Okay, put that in. Perfect, that's done. In we go. There we go. There they are. As long as they all look good, that's all that counts. Now put this in to get the delicious smoked haddock cooked. We're getting there. Right, so we're now putting in our sea bass. In. We're now heating up our risotto. So this and the leeks are done, the spinach is done. There we are, spinach is done, perfect. Bring this up high. This is where you really take it higher. Hang on, let me just get these leeks out of the way because leeks are always, you can so easily burn them, but once they're done, they're done. Okay. You can do these in advance, actually. You can do these before, so they're all done. Okay, all done. It should go in now, absolutely. Right, so that's ready to go. It should go in now. Smoked haddock should go in now, should be in. Right, I'm now bringing it up to heat. Right, what's happened is all the liquid has absorbed. But what I don't want to do is, I don't want to add any more cream. I'm just going to add literally a tiny bit, not much, just to bring it up high. Be careful not to burn. Before you eat, this is where you must turn it up because you want to really do it. Right, we're going to take this now, and I'm going to fold in the spinach. Fold in the spinach. That's it. How lovely is that? So it's all the water has come out of it and gummings and so on. Now, this is where I am going to season. I'm going to put some coarse sea salt in there. Okay. Now, I'm going to now taste it, of course. Oh my goodness me.
Can you just do a recap, Rosemary?
Okay, it's done. Right, what I have done is I've sauteed some onions for the risotto, for the smoked haddock risotto. I've sauteed onions, not onions, shallots. I've softened them with leeks. I showed you how to cut the leeks. And then I put the rice in to make it opaque and cooked it off slightly before I added any liquid. Then I add the liquid, the cold liquid, bit by bit, because I wanted to make sure that it was all completely done. And then So it cooled it down, so it made the starch come out of it. Then I kept doing it, folding it, putting it in bit by bit, until we ended up with this delicious risotto. Then I cooked some spinach off in a little bit of water and butter, wilted it. That's all it is. I folded it in here. And the haddock is utterly delicious. And it's all cooked now. Everything's cooked. I'm going to get that out of the oven now. It literally takes 2 minutes, not even that. So, here we have. There we are. Suddenly it's all done. But what I'm going to do before I actually do this, I'm going to put a tiny bit of zest in here. Just a little bit. Then I'm going to put a tiny bit of lemon. Squeeze a bit. Just a little bit. There we are. Squeeze some lemon. Then I'm going to fold that in. Oh, the smell that is coming off here, I have to tell you, is second to none. Then I'm going to, if you're a bit worried about making it look sloppy on a plate, I'm going to say to you, you can actually take, if you want to take a ring, you know, make it look almost restaurant-y. Right, we're just going to do this. So I'm just going to, oh, delicious is that. Pop it on there. So you get it in the middle of the plate. It'll fall down. It's cool. Right, we're going to pop that on. Oh, the haddock. Now, I don't know if you noticed, but I hardly cooked that haddock at all. So I'm just going to take a couple of pieces of fish. Come on, go down. I want it just to go down. That's it. Just so to make sure you've got it in. Right, we're just going to now put a few little leeks on the top. Right. No, it's not. Making a paella is completely different. There you put all the liquid in to begin with, and you stir it, but you do the liquid straight away. That's what you do. So basically, it's not. It's different. Right. So. My delicious risotto. My delicious haddock risotto with a bit of sea bream on top, a bit of some sea bass on top, or it can be sea bream on top, and some crispy leeks as a little garnish, just to help you elevate it to another level. So pretending you're in a restaurant, you can wear whites as well. Anyway, listen, I hope you enjoyed that. And I'm just going to sit here. Are there any questions? You can put a little cheese on there too, actually. There we go. How lovely is that? Are there any questions? What? Your oven's exploded, Claire? Why has it exploded? You poor thing. I hope that wasn't the fish. I'm really sorry. Well, never mind. Luckily, most of this could be done on, well, all of it can be done on the top if you want. All of it. So, oh dear, you have to get the menders out on Monday or Tuesday. Yeah, that's something else, isn't it? I'm sorry about that. I really am.
Yeah, how did you cook the sea bass again?
Right, what I did was I literally seared it.
The sea bass, yeah.
Okay, the sea bass. I seared the sea bass. So how did I cook it? I cooked it in a pan with some hot oil, bit of oil, butter, and then I just cooked it up on one side only. And then I just turned it over, then I put it onto a tray because it's just so little, it hardly takes any time. And then to use it, you actually can just put it put it into heat through. So if you've got, for instance, if you've got people coming and you want to get it done in advance, that's all.
What other fish did you use instead of
Anything, salmon, anything, you name it, you can use it. As long as you've got to understand what it is. If you're doing it with risotto, I mean, you can do it without risotto. I'm only doing this to go with it. But if you're doing it with risotto, I think it's always better to have something a little bit, how can I put it? A little bit sort of smaller on the risotto rather than the great big fish. You see these big fillets on. I never like the look of that. I think they look sort of bit naff, really, a bit unattractive. But actually putting little bits on, and you can actually fold them in your risotto as well. I could get all that fish and just fold it through my risotto, which will be even nicer. So I can use anything at all. The trick was to show you how to do the sea bass, cook it on one side and then bake it in the oven, because it's just about cooked. Okay, any more questions?
How healthy is this dish, Rosemary?
I think it's quite healthy because you're not putting any cream normally with the actual risotto. Okay, I know it's carbs, which people are not as keen on, but as long as you don't have too much. That's why I only did 120 grams for 2 people, because I thought it was enough. So that's why I did more protein on the top, because it was more healthy. So, and the spinach bulked it up as well, which is again healthy. You don't have to add the butter, you just cook it in water. So actually this could be a really healthy dish. I think it is healthy. Yep. So it's not rich. Anyway, I think this has been a very good one today. It's been streamlined today. No mishaps today, which is a miracle, absolute miracle, except for Claire's oven. I'm sorry about that. That's the sort of thing that would happen to me. So anyway, I really hope that you enjoy that. I hope you come back next week. Please share your photos. Please show us what you've done. Please send them to us, share it, tell everybody about it, because this cook along is here to stay. So, doing it. Oh yes, and don't forget to go to the YouTube channel, because the YouTube channel is really, really good. So go to the YouTube channel, look on it, and go and see a few dishes. We're a bit sparse at the moment, but we're getting there. Slowly but surely, we're getting more and more and more. So it's very exciting. Yeah, that's it. Well, listen, have a good week. Next week, I've decided to do a pudding. I've decided to do a crumble, forced rhubarb and apple crumble with a separate crumble top. I'll show you how to do it in all the oven. I'm sure that's fine. And a proper custard. Very simple, but yet lovely for the family. So no main course, just a pudding next week. So see you soon. Okay, thank you for joining me. Thank you. Bye.